Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in and checking out your boy, B Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab. I do what I do for you. I'm gonna lights again. I got a good lesson for you today. I got a few pages I'm gonna read to you out of the book. So let's get started. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I'm giving life lessons. You tune in to receive them. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinkers mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Remember, we're spiritual beings. Right thinkers' way of life through mental and spiritual discipline excuse me, daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is to get all those things to be right thinkers knowledge of self so they can know thyself. That's my mission. That's what I'm on. Your goal is to know yourself with the knowledge I'm giving you. You tune in, receive it, use it, and you'll do the same thing. Know thyself. Let's go. I ask you the question, do you know you? If it's rhetorical, if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. When I get done, you will be able to tell you, yeah, I know myself. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not. It's simple. That you can teach them. That's what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believes and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows but knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know that self. And to Mayat be true. We've been doing a lot of Mayat, so I got some more for you. But watch this. The philosophy about Mayat is how you eradicate. Let's talk about egoism and pride. What? No. Listen. You might learn something. I get a lot of people who want to do a lot of talking, but don't do much listening. So pay attention. You might learn something. That's the only way you're going to learn is to listen. So egoism and pride. Maya practice, right? The philosophy will teach you how to eradicate both of them. Okay? Because the fact of the matter is the most important obstacle in spiritual realization, ready? Egoism and pride is an expression of it. They go together. All of the injunctions of the 42 confessions of Maya refer to what? The need to eradicate the ego. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand, right, thinkers? We have to conquer the ego. Watch this. That's ignorance. We can't stand to be ignorant. We need to know. So, egoism and ignorance, violence and desires of the heart are what? Special emphasis is placed on, again, egoism. And in the injunctions 32 and 38 breaks it down like this. Injunction 32 of the 42 Confessions of Maya says, I have not multiplied my speech over much. A lot of us, when we talk about ourselves, we kind of add, put 20 on 10, so to speak, exaggerate, lie. Okay. He said, I have not lied about myself. When you can be honest with others about yourself, that's what he's saying. Let's talk about that. So the concept and understanding of the injunction 32, it implies what? A personality which is on an outgoing nature, happy-go-lucky, but in a extravagated way, exaggerated way, excuse me, flamboyant, always want, that guy right there, yeah, okay. When I do ego, I always do this, I refer to that, that's what we was on, pure egoism, okay. This personality, what? Is distracted, and always agitated. It's always something, yeah, because you're constantly doing stuff and you got to stay on your game, okay? You out there, got to keep thinking. And it's agitated constantly. For what? Now you're looking for something to get into. Restless. When we was young, Friday night, you don't get off work and do nothing. Oh, you got something to get into. So that's understandable. So watch this. But this follows along with what? With the injunction 31. I have not been an eavesdropper. If you're in the conversation and they're talking about somebody that you know and you don't correct them or you just listen, eavesdropping. I don't do that. Okay, most people don't. I don't concern myself with what people say about other people. That's why. But most people do. But watch this. The concept, the purpose is the concern with what? They're more concerned with events and objects outside of oneself. I don't give a good hoot about nothing that don't pertain to me. Most people don't think or feel that way. But watch this. They concern themselves with things outside of oneself, and that is the main cause of what? The distraction in their mind. Worrying about what Dick did, what Sally didn't do. Worry about what you didn't do or should have done. Focus on that. A lot of people ain't understanding that. But watch this. The distraction is the main cause of what? Their inability to discover the spiritual self within. Again, that's the biggest obstacle. Ego, worrying about everything but what they need to. Egoism, perfect segue. Egoism is what? Is thinking of oneself as what? As the personality, and it is fueled by what? The distracted tendencies of the mind. You think it's all about you, but you worry about everything else outside of you. That's called distraction. Another segue. Distraction, what? Leads to ignorance. Pride. Oh, here we go. Pride and egoism, I told you, go hand in hand with spiritual ignorance. Your ego and pride will keep you ignorant of your higher self because it's all about itself. So it ain't gonna raise its conscious level. It ain't gonna do nothing but take care of itself. So watch this. You because what this? Egoism and pride go hand in hand with spiritual ignorance because when one has spiritual knowledge, what happens? It is clear that all humanity, all creations is in the what? Expressions of God. You I stopped stepping on ants and nature. Why? I have a different concept about it now. That's why what they said proved that out. Why I experienced it. I just don't. I wouldn't get nice. So you have a change of how you conduct yourself. Trust me. And how can watch this? There be hatred for or discrimination against any part or anything of God. We're all connected spiritually. We all have life. That's God. The smartness in us is God. So we all connected in that manner. So we should all respect and understand that we're all brothers and sisters. And this is watch this. Now this is only possible. This can only be possible in what? When there is ignorance and egoism. When you stuck on stupid, you full of yourself, and it's all about the ego and pride, aka foolish pride. When there is egoism, what happens? There is always what? A desire to what? Promote what one believes and desires at the what? The exclusion of the desires of who? Others. They don't care about others, long as they get what they want. Could care less about how you feel. What they want, what they want, and that's common for those kind of people who are egoistic and prideful. Simple. One believes, watch this, that one is the what? Correct and above others. This concept, this conceit and arrogance prevents them from what? Seeing any reality beyond what? Beyond the confines of their own concepts and ideas. Thus, everyone else is what? Wrong. I just did a lesson. Don't we all know that? Got somebody we know that know everything, ain't never wrong, and it's always somebody else that's wrong, never them. That one who know everything about everything except themselves. Okay, we all know one now. And they call that conceit and arrogantness. And it is exasperated when what? When a person receives, you ready? Praise from others due to the same achievement or degree which they have attained. Once you start giving a person on the ego trip praise, it's not going to get better. Watch this. Now, in the state of ignorance, egoism, those people cannot handle praise or censor properly. Constructive criticism, don't even attempt to try to do that with them. As long as you're praising them, they're going to love you. But if you tell them the negative side, they're going to hate you. Watch this. So when there is praise, watch this, the ego feel good about it. Yeah, they love me, they like me. Okay. But when there is constructive criticism, oh, the ego begins to lash out with what? Curses, hatred, and sometimes violence. If I'm in a conversation and we have a difference of opinion, I ain't trying to fight. It ain't that big a deal. For real. So that's what they said. An ignorant person, man, it's my way. I say I'm right, you're wrong. Calm down. So let's move on. But now, the descriptions given above about these people is for the purpose of what? Explaining the human predicament of what? Spiritually ignorant people and what they do. We know them oh so well, better than they know themselves, again. But in this deluded state, mind, it leads them to what? Constant conflict, unrighteousness, and these are Satanian qualities, again, of the ego, as opposed to what? Righteousness, truth, and peace, which is what we do, right, thinkers? Maya. Satanian behavior is a deviation from what? The truth. If you got Maya over here, you got Set over here. Mm-mm-mm. Your choice. Your choice. Yeah. You can do you. You can do what's right. That's why I would give you that concept, that idea. But watch this. In that deluded state of mind, watch this. Division is caused by what? Delusion of ignorance. And a deluded human being, watch this. What they'll do, they can engage in racism, sexism, murder, violence, arrogance, etc. These are people who commit those kind of crimes. An egoistic, ignorant person. A lot of times, I hate to tell young men, if you are raised by your mother, and that's not a problem. But if you don't have a man to show you manly stuff, you are what they call mom made. Mom made men are a lot more emotional than they are masculine. Why? Because moms put that in you. You learn that from there, and that's fine. But that's just half the equation. You need the other half. She couldn't have you by herself, so you should make a point and understand, men and women, raise the kid to be the best it can be. Sacrifice your feelings for each other and do what's right for the kid. But we far from that. So moving on. Sorry about that. But watch this. Now, why a person who has discovered what? Their spiritual essence, aka know thyself, become awakened spiritually, right thinkers. Watch this. A person who has discovered their spiritual essence, what? Cannot harm anyone or anything in thought, word, or deed, or any other way. That's how we live together. If you're doing what you're doing, and it don't bother me, I can do what I'm doing. Why? Because I'm not gonna bother you. That's how you can coexist with somebody who have a difference in opinion and lifestyle. As long as it don't affect you and what they do, it shouldn't bother you. So understand that I'm not gonna make you do what I do, because what I do, everybody should do. It don't work that way. Let's go. But watch this. Now this is why spiritual aspirants, aka right thinkers, are what? Are cautioned to follow the path of what? Righteousness. That's doing what's right for the right reason. Not because you want to, not because no, because it's the right thing to do. That's what doing righteous and virtue is all about. It ain't how you feel. It's what to be right. And when you do that, that's Maya. Even, watch this, while you are in still a state of ignorance, you can learn and practice, because acting in a righteous manner does what? Purifies the negative elements excuse me, in the mind, which forces the seeds of what? Of ignorance. I'm warm right now. Egoism. These are the elements that are the fetters. I told you, when you're ignorant, you're going through things that's going to cause problems to you. The consequences are going to fall on you. The hieroglyphic for set is a man with a hatchet to his head. I'll call you back, Mom. Sorry. Okay? But when you are this egoistic person and you're ignorant, it's a lot of things that you're going to do. Watch this. Such as you operate out of fear. You just all you want is to fulfill your desires. You are jealous. You are greedy. You have high passions for the wrong reasons, etc. See where I'm going with this? All these is negative qualities that's in you. And if you exhibit them, that's what makes you a Satanian person, aka devilish, evil, whatever you want to call it. But you're unrighteous. You're not doing what's right. Simple. And thus, watch this. The project of a spiritual aspirant who wants to tread the path of Maya, living the right thing, beware. Why? You're gonna lose friends. First thing, you're gonna lose a lot of people. And watch this. The path of Maya is to what? Work toward cleansing your fetters, changing your lifestyle, rearranging things you do, and get on the so-called good foot, doing the right thing. That's a lifestyle change. Because if you're doing the wrong thing, do a 180, not a 360. Halfway, go that way. If you're going the wrong way, if you're going north, you should go south. That's what you should do. Turn around and go the other way. That's a decision that every individual has to make for themselves. So this is accomplished how? By selfless actions, doing stuff for others for the right reason, just because. And watch this. And described earlier, as we told you earlier in the same book, and through what? Attaining spiritual knowledge by studying daily to prove you show yourself approved. And through what? The study of the daily teachings. Study daily of the teachings to what? Familiarize yourself, get to know them, and then you can implement them by what? Living them and using it. That's the purpose. I'm almost there. I got a little more to go. So there is one important factor which is inherent in the precepts of Maya, and that must receive special mention, which is what? Many times when people are ignorant of the greater spiritual realities and is caught up in the emotionalities of human life, they do what? They tend to look for something or someone to blame for their miseries. We know everybody got that person. Man, so and so did this. Well, she did that. See, that's that person. And watch this. They want to find a cause for the troubles of what? Of life. And the easiest way to do that is what? To look around into the world and point out to those factors around them which seem to affect them. Everything is wrong around them except them. Like your boy. Everybody mess with him as a criminal, going to jail, but he ain't a criminal. Moving on. They want, okay, did that. We're down here. Trouble, okay. Now, watch this. In chapter 125, the use of the word Nook, N-U-K, means I. You're going down 42 confession, Maya. Nook, meaning I. Nook, I is emphasized with what? With special connotation. The spiritual aspirant says continually, I have not. He or she does not say, you have allowed me, or the devil made me do it, or I want to, but I couldn't, etc. Excuses, no. You're saying specifically, I have not committed these offenses. That's the name of the game. Watch this, almost home. There is a process of responsibility, watch this, wherein you, the spiritual aspirant, recognizes that you had the obligation. It's your obligation to what? Act righteously. I'm going to do the right thing. I'm obligated because of my spiritual discipline to do just that. Watch that. And when you do that, and in so doing, you're doing to what? Purify your own heart by doing good deeds for the purpose of helping somebody else and not looking for nothing from them in return. That's called the selfless service. Spiritual practice, which is what? Practicing spiritual disciplines, doing what's right daily can what? Succeed when? Only when you would assume that responsibility for yourself. Take responsibility for what? Your actions, your thoughts, your words, and your feelings. That's having control over the ego. When you don't have control over those parts of you, your ego do. And that means it's going to control you, not in a good way. If you constantly what? Blame your adversities on what? On others or on situations, etc., you will be living a life according to what? Ignorance and mental weakness. You can't figure it out. True spiritual strength comes from what? From learning, leaning, upon what? The self, your inner self. They tell you, go inside. You want in, go in, not out, in. Go deeper, go below the surface of your ignorant conscious and find out there's a whole lot of stuff beneath that. So what's this said? Within yourself for what? Spiritual support and well-being rather than what? Rather than upon external situations thinking something that's going outside is going to make you happy, bring you joy. People or objects. I don't care. The ongoing joke with me, you got no friends. I don't care. I ain't beef for that. So if you don't have friends, it's the reason why. When you living and doing what's right for you, other people continue to stay away from you. Watch this. Let me wrap it up. This is it. Thus, within the teachings of Maya, right thing philosophy, can be found what? All of the important injunctions for what? Living a life which promotes what? Listen, purity, harmony, and sanctity. These are things that will happen when you're living right and you all get benefits. You will be the beneficiary of this. Watch this. So now, while these may be found in other spiritual traditions, most religions have the same concepts from all around the world. But watch this. Seldom is the emphasis on what? Nonviolence. We know about Mahatma Gandhi, we know about Martin. Nonviolence and balance to be found. Watch this. In Christianity, Jesus emphasized nonviolence. What happened to him? In the violent death. Okay. Then you got in the Buddhism, Buddha emphasized what? Nonviolence, because he came enlightened. These traditions recognize what? The power of nonviolence to what? Heal the anger and hatred where? Within the aggressor, as well as who? The victim. And when this spiritual force, watch this, is developed, right thinkers, use the force. When it's developed, it is more, listen, formidable than any kind of physical violence. If you can master the choke like Darth Vader did, he can choke without touching you. That's the force. All right. But that's the concept. So watch this. So therefore, anyone who wishes to promote what? Peace and harmony in the world, you must begin by purifying every bit of negativity where? Within yourself. That's where it starts. This is the only way to what? Promote harmony and peace in others. You got to start with yourself. Conversely, if there is anger within you, you are indeed what? Promoting anger outside of yourself. And your efforts will be what? Unsuccessful in the end. You cannot BS reality. You cannot fake out. Understand that. What? All seeing that, sees and knows all. That's the lesson. I'll be back.